My name is Jodi Rodwell. I'm the Interim Executive Director of Denali Education Center, a nonprofit organization that works in partnership with the National Park Service to educate people about Denali. We are on the edge of Denali National Park. We're on our campus. We have a 10-acre campus. It's a residential campus where people come and stay with us for educational programs. And the Nenana River is flowing behind us, and on the other side of the Nenana River, in a backdrop, is Denali National Park. Denali Education Center is to benefit the Denali bioregion, the state of Alaska, and our planet through education, communication, and research programs. And then when we started introducing youth programs into our mix, it was great. It was opening people's eyes to this place and to this wonderful wilderness, and teaching them why it's important, why it's preserved, why is it important to keep these wilderness places in our lives. And we give so much to people to take home with them and assimilate in wild places where they come from, because it gives you a sense of a complete and intact ecosystem. The animals that live here, the plants that live here, it's a very harsh environment. It takes a lot of space to grow a bear, for example. It's just such a different ecosystem than people are used to. And so you realize what it takes, and not just for the plants and animals, but the people as well. And you just meet people that have such will and grit and want to be in this place and will do anything, like live without water, electricity, live way off the road system, and are just fulfilling their basic needs through their lifestyle. And so I think the thing that people take home with them is not just that, we need these big Denali National Park is a 6 million acre park. It's as big as the state of Massachusetts. Is that you could have a microcosm of that same thing, that same wilderness in your garden at home, and just understanding, okay, what does it take to grow this vegetable, or what does it take to, keep these national forests, to be able for people to utilize different recreational opportunities. And we also have an underlying theme, especially with our Elder Hostel program, of the balance between preservation and use. I live here, you're here visiting, other people live here, and we all have different needs and wants and hopes and dreams. And what is that balance between keeping it intact so that we have this innate sense of wilderness and understanding, what is important about wilderness to us, because I think it's different for everybody. But, and then what is that balance between really wanting to be here and wanting to experience it in a way that is meaningful for each person. I hope that they take away a little bit of the sense of what wilderness means to them. I feel like when people come and stay on our campus, we get the comments all the time, oh, this reminds me of camp when I was a kid. And in a way that sounds a little silly, but I think that it's really important. They're learning the whole time they're here about the ecology of the place, basically, about the animals, the plants, the people, what people do, why they do it, how they do it, and same with the animals and the plants. And I hope that they just take home a little bit of sense of, what being here did for them inside, and inspire them to take a new and fresh look at the park across the street, the state park down the road, the national park that's in their neighborhood, and to revisit those places and become reconnected to those wilderness areas, because I think it's important. I think a lot of times this kind of area and this lifestyle appeals to a broad spectrum of kids, that wanderlust kind of thing. I know that the types of jobs that people can get in small communities like this, they are limited for sure, but you can come to National Park and work as a tour driver, as a ranger in the park, as interp for Park Service, maintenance. I mean, anybody who has self-driven kind of ways about them and how they go about their lives. You have to have ambition and flexibility. I think that is a key part. I mean, most people that come here started off housekeeping. If you're saying, no way, there's no way I will clean a room or wash a toilet, it's probably not the right place. Around here and on this campus and with our staff, everybody does everything. And you just do it because you love the place and because you love to be here, and you just do what has to be done. You know, when you live in a place like this, you have to be willing to drive 7 miles to get your water, for example. You know, housing is scarce, and you just have to be resourceful. You have to learn about the little pluggy thing in the front of your car, and you have to understand why it's important not to feed the red squirrels in your yard. You'll figure it out pretty quick, and how to react if there's a moose grazing in your garden and that kind of thing. You have to become very versatile in the way that you live your life. But I really do enjoy my work here, and I am always thinking about other types of nonprofit work that directly benefit communities. And I think that we really do benefit our community through our youth programs, especially. We get all the local kids into that park and really bring it back to them. You know, I grew up outside Glacier, I mentioned, and didn't really have an appreciation for it. And I think because I didn't go in with my peers. I didn't get to really learn about it. The community really does appreciate us, and we bring a lot to the kids, and they realize too that there's opportunities here for them. They don't necessarily have to go away, or even if it's not here and they go somewhere else, by gosh, they can still become raft guides and park rangers and those kinds of professions. We have a program called Discover Denali, and we work with a tour cruise company called Royal Celebrity Tours. And we give them an experience. It's 3.5 hours. It's pretty intense learning experience. It's really, really fun. They go to the Muri Science and Learning Center and get a little bit of a welcome to the subarctic. What does it mean to be up here? Why is it different from where they're from? How far north are they? We use maps, and then we give them some pretty hands-on with skins and skulls, you know, some bones and skins and talk about animal adaptations up here. And then they go on a walk, and it's about 1.5 mile hike, and it's a guided interpretive human and natural history hike. Depending on your situation, a lot of people who live in Alaska are transplanted from other places. It means being far from your family. But it means working together in a way that I think people who live in cities and suburbs, and I could be wrong about this because I don't live in that environment anymore, but I just feel this is the closest community I've ever been in, and people help each other out. And people get together in this community more than any other place I've lived. You get together, you play music, you have knitting groups or any other hobby groups, and kids get together for play dates. People are busy. We keep busy all the time, year round. If we can instill a sense of wilderness in each person that comes here, that visits our campus, even if it's just for a 45-minute program that we do in the Sheldon Center, just that little bit of what does it mean to have this intact ecosystem, that there's something important about that to all of us. If everybody could just take a little bit of that home and just have that renewed look around them. And like I said, I don't care if it's a window planter, that there's something about that gives us a sense of peace and a sense of belonging to this planet. And I think that is really that part of, benefiting the planet. You take it with you, you will maybe affect change to some special place near where you live.